Soundbar or speakers? What is better? That's the question I'm going to be answering in today's video. Hey folks, I'm Gene Delasalo with Audioholics. Let's talk about soundbars. Let's talk about loudspeakers. What do you think is better? What's the better approach? Well, honestly, if you would have asked me this question 10 years ago, I would have definitively said, don't do a soundbar. Discrete speakers all around is the way to go. That's the better, superior way. And still to this day, that's usually the case when you're doing really elaborate setups and you want the very best performance. You're going to do discrete speaker placement all around the room, including the ceiling, no bouncy house. But with that said, I'm not going to diss on soundbars too much anymore because this category of product has changed and evolved so much over the last decade, and you have to kind of give it its props. You got to give it its respect. So when you think about it, when you're doing entry-level stuff and you set up a TV, put it on the wall, TV sound has gotten worse over the years, right? Because the panel got thinner. Sound is terrible out of TVs. So now you can literally go down to the department store, spend $300 or $500, stick a soundbar into your TV and get decent sound. It actually sounds okay, especially for increases voice dialogue intelligibility. It gives you a little bass. Some of these soundbars come with a subwoofer. So with that respect, it's very hard to put together a good discrete speaker system for $500 with a subwoofer that's easy to connect and looks good and goes right under the TV. You just can't beat that. So for entry level, soundbars have their place. But what about when you spend more money? What about when you're spending $3 or $5 grand? And sometimes I've seen soundbar systems that are over 10 grand. Well, the gap has been narrowed a little bit because there's a new category of soundbars that we've been looking at lately and we've been pretty impressed with. They're passive LCR soundbars. Companies like Triad, Leon Speakers is another one, Klipsch is another one, and Theory Audio is the ultimate. These guys, Theory Audio for example, they make a soundbar that's got really high-end drivers, carbon fiber drivers, really high-end waveguide tweeters, and it goes up to 85 inches in length to match the size of your TV. And they have full DSP capability. They've got really big 15-inch subwoofers and discrete speakers that go around the room. I heard that system, and that system freaking rocked. It was amazing. I heard it at CD a couple of years ago, and I couldn't believe how good it sounded. So after I heard that, it gave me kind of an epiphany, and I wanted to take a look at more passive soundbars. And you know, companies like Triad, for example, they will give you gold level drivers from their gold series in a passive soundbar that customizes to the size of your TV. So there really aren't any disadvantages at that point when you're getting good drivers in an inert acoustically controlled box that aesthetically is pleasing because it goes under your TV. The only slight disadvantage in those cases is you don't get as much channel separation. So if you want your speakers 10 feet apart, they're not going to be 10 feet apart if they're all located in a soundbar. But these are sometimes you make these concessions because of aesthetics. And I have to tell you that the soundbar category has really narrowed that problem because these things sound really good. So if you do a hybrid and you do an LCR passive soundbar and you do discrete subwoofers and you do discrete speakers for surround, you got yourself a killer system. And I don't really want to say that this is bad because it's a soundbar, because it's not. And these are viable solutions. So you can't always say discrete speakers all around are the way to go, because you got to kind of take into effect form factor, wife acceptance factor. That stuff really matters. And I'm glad to see manufacturers are taking the soundbar category more seriously. They've expanded it so now you can get a soundbar that's musical. Because in the past you would get these DSP driven soundbars and they sounded okay just to, you know, enhance the sound of your TV, but they were terrible for music. But that category has changed. The passive soundbars are really good. Even some of these active soundbars, they've come a long way as well. They're putting real quality drivers in there. They're giving you a real subwoofer. Even Bose today with their soundbar is giving you a real subwoofer. They have a soundbar system that has a 10-inch downfiring sub. 10 years ago that wasn't the case. They were doing that little bandpass enclosure with two 5¼ inch paper drivers. So I have to tell you guys, definitively speaking, soundbar versus speakers, I'm not going to tell you one's better than the other because it really depends on your application and what you use. So don't discount the soundbar category because it's been expanded and it's been improved. And there's a lot of viable solutions out there. And we're going to be covering those solutions in the Audioholics Smart Host. So guys, if you like this video, please thumb it up. Please subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification. Don't forget about our Patreon at patreon.com/audioholics. And until next time, my friends, keep listening.